I don't think that Pokemon's 30th anniversary set is going to pump the market quite like people think it is. So let's have a little chat about why I think that and put some numbers to it from current market prices. And as I'm sure you've already seen, because if you're watching a small time YouTuber's channel, you are deep in the Pokemon hobby. So you've definitely already seen these leaks. I'm just going to start here and this will filter into why I think it won't pump the market quite like people think it's going to. So obviously we've got these leaks that have been all over Reddit from the ETB playbook, and there's absolutely some fantastic cards in here. So many new cards mixed with the classics. I think it's really, I mean, the general opinion is that this is now going to be the best set ever, the best set. I know some people don't like the stamps, and to be honest, I'm kind of on the fence with them. I don't really like them either. I prefer the cards didn't have them, but they're not that bad. Obviously, we've got fantastic new Gengar, the Jirachi, the Salamence. I mean, they've got the classics, the Lugia, the Pikachu, the Charizard. The leaks go on and on and on. I love the legendary bird trio. I definitely need them in my collection. There's many cards here that are going to bring a whole host of different collectors wanting to buy these products. We've got the Pikachu SIRs, the Mewtwo SIR, the Mew SIR. Depending on the pull rates, these could be insanely expensive. And even if the pull rates are quite easy, the prices could still be very high out the gate because the people are just going to be desperate to get their hands on them. And by the way, that's not all the leaks on those pages. There's more, including the Shinji Konda Magic Carp as well. So there is a few more cards from the set, illustration rares, special illustration rares, that kind of thing. But then we've got the Pikachus as well. Now, there's a Pikachu in every single pack. So these things are going to be absolutely everywhere. But it depends whether some are going to be more rare than others. Yeah, it depends if some are going to be more rare than others. So there could be ones that you hit constantly from the packs, and then some that are really, really difficult to find. I'm not sure if those rarities have been announced yet. If they've all got equal rarity, then with them being in every single pack, these are just going to be everywhere. I can't see them being that expensive. But if there is a certain rarity scale within these, then yes, some of them could be quite pricey. But again, a cool little subset to collect, and I'm sure everyone will want to get a full set of these. Surely any collector will want the full set, and to get the full set in a PSA 10 or an Ace 10, for example, you know, that could have some value behind it. So really, really cool feature that's coming out in the 30th. That being said, the set is obviously then, what I'm getting at there is the set looks amazing. It's going to draw so many people in, so many more eyes on the hobby. Now we've seen Chaos Cards announce that there's 25 times more demand at the minute for current sets than what's available for them to actually sell to people. So demand for this is going to go through the roof. Everything we're hearing is that this is being printed into absolute oblivion. That's the phrase we like to use, isn't it? Everything's being printed into oblivion, and there's just going to be so much of this that it's not going to get too pricey. Now I've heard that there's going to be millions of ETBs. I've heard that there's more printed of this set than the entire Mega Evolution set already put together, including like Ascended. So if that's the case, there is going to be a lot of this going around, and I think that's kind of reflected in these early pre-order prices. So we've got £475 for the Ultra Premium Collection, less than £100 for the ETB. Now normally pre-order prices for items like this can be really, really high, and they come down onto release. So if this is starting at £95, it's quite a good sign actually. Now don't get me wrong, like we've seen with Ascended, some of those products came out, like the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box at 140 and then just went bang up to 350. It could happen with these depending on the quantities. Now it also depends whether the set gets botted into oblivion. If people are managing, not only on the Pokemon Center website, but on general stores as well, to bot all the pre-orders and manage to hoard the stock away from the general public, the general collectors, meaning that they control the secondary market, the prices could skyrocket. And that's clearly what's happened with sets like Ascended and Prismatic and other sets in the past as well. So it all depends on a few different factors here. But if the prices are similar to what we're seeing here, this is why I don't think it's going to catapult the rest of the market up. Now, if everyone could get their hands on all these products, and there is a lot of products here, by the way, a lot. If everyone can get their hands on all of them, and people will then flip them on the secondary market, there's demand for that there, the botters, the scalpers, and the prices fly up and they can make a lot of money, then that money then will filter into the rest of the market and can boost the prices of other things quite a little bit as well. So it's kind of how it works. But if you're only getting £100 for an ETB and you've paid 50 for it, so you get 2 ETBs, you've paid 100, you flip them for 200. You can't even then go and buy 2 Ascended Heroes ETBs or 2 Prismatic ETBs or 2 Destined ETBs. The value isn't there then to transfer straight into the market like 1-for-1. The prices on 30th are going to be cheaper because by the looks of it, they're going to be printing a lot more of it. So I feel like that's where this notion that the 30th is going to pump up prices on sets like Ascended, which are already so expensive, like it's not going to translate 1-to-1 over. People will flip 30th but not actually get as much money back as what they think to be able to then go and buy like loads of Ascended or Prismatic or 151 Destined or Black Bolt, White Flare, that kind of thing. And I don't think we're going to see this huge lift across the board, what a lot of people are expecting. That's like the point I'm making here. If you get a 30th anniversary Pokemon Center ETB and it comes out the gate at 200 or 250 and you flip it, great, you've made big profit. But you can't even then go and buy 2 Prismatic Pokemon Center ETBs or 2 Ascendeds because the price is still 286 on the Ascended one. You can't flip it 1-for-1, and I think that's quite something that people aren't realizing here. If there's that much product, while it will generate a lot of interest in the hobby and people will be coming in to get the 30th, I don't think then, if it's not as flippable as people are thinking, that money then will filter into the rest of the hobby and drive all the prices up. And I think things like Ascended, Destined, some of the other sets that have stagnated for a while, they might see a tiny bump, but it's not going to be like bang, everything up 20, 30, 40, 50%. I don't see that happening. I think things like Prismatic will be what, if you're a botter or a scalper and you get 30th and you flip it, where is it here? The sensible thing would be to flip it then straight into Prismatic, because it's got a natural catalyst of going out of rotation. But the other sets I just talked about, that doesn't come yet. So I think the general interest globally in the hobby will go through the roof. If you go on your Google Trends, Pokemon TCG, it'll go bang, the spike will be massive. But that general filtering into the price of the sealed boxes, I'm not convinced, you know. So I'd be very wary at just like piling in while prices are high. I could even see once the 30th anniversary stuff settles down a bit into the new year, I could see a bit of a stagnation in the market, especially as we go into Gen 10, new Pokemon, the new game comes out, new sets that don't feature the classic Pokemon, that kind of thing, like we've seen when Scarlet and Violet came out. So I would not pin your hopes on, if you're buying Ascended and Destined and some other products at the moment, or even the lesser things like Chaos and Pitch Black, if you're buying them now thinking when 30th comes out they're all going to go up 50% or 100% and I'm going to sell and make loads of money, I don't think it's going to work like that. I also think with 30th as well, if we go back to the set list, there's so many ancillary products here that a lot of this is going to get ripped. People love to rip the ancillary products, and there's so many of them: the tins, the tech sticker collections, binders, little collection boxes, EX boxes. It's quite standard for a specialty set. There seems to be a few more for the 30th. And that means then, if a lot of this, if so much of it is being printed, and then so much of it is getting into the hands of the players and the customers and the general public, these kind of items that are on the screen now, where I've scrolled down a little bit, away from the ETBs and the UPCs, these all get ripped. People just rip these. And there's going to be so many cards as well from 30th on the market that I think that it'll keep the prices of the cards down to a degree. Maybe a couple of them will be expensive, but I don't see the 30th cards being as expensive as the Gengar and the Pikachu in Ascended, because there's going to be so many more of them on the market straight away. I think that one of the things that keeps the Ascended prices high is not only that the product is becoming a little bit scarce already because not much of it's been released, is that you've got those huge chase cards, because there's not many of them on the market either, with a huge price. So it makes it like worth trying to rip the packs. It makes it worth trying to chase the God pack, chase the Pikachu, chase the Gengar. If there's so much of this out there and so much of it getting ripped and so many of the cards finding their way into collectors' hands, it will keep those prices down, which mean then that when you're ripping 30th, you're ripping it for the fun, but there might not be that huge value chase like a God pack or a Gengar or a Pikachu from Ascended, like I mentioned, meaning then that it'll help maintain or manage the price of the sealed a little bit as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm speculating here, but everything we're hearing is that 30th is going to be printed like nothing we've ever seen before. And if that's the case, and the chase cards are then not as expensive as what we've seen in recent sets, and if the sealed can't be flipped for as much as what we've seen in recent sets, then there's not as much money to make to filter back into the wider Pokemon hobby. And I expect to see a little bump in some products, but I do not expect to see things just go absolutely to the moon, 50% jumps, 100% jumps across the market. I don't think it'll work like that, and I think some people are expecting that to happen. And I just want to hope that people aren't pinning their hopes on some of the stuff they've been buying recently to do that, because I'd be very, very surprised if it happened like that across the board. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on why I think that the 30 celebrations won't explode the market like some people are expecting. I don't think it'll happen. It'll give it a bump, it'll bring interest in, people want the cards, but if what we're hearing is right and there's so much of it printed, then I don't think we're going to see that huge spike. And then I think the clever people, the ones who are playing the market well, if they do flip celebrations, 30th celebration, it will go into prismatic, because that's the set with the next natural catalyst, and you will see that kind of like take off a little bit more and maybe leave some of the other sets behind, like 151 did earlier this year. So if you enjoy this kind of content, TCG talk, investing talk, market talk, I'm Cal, this is Cal's Pokemart. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.